expedition begins as a renowned team of paranormal investigators embarks on a journey to Devil's Knob, lured by the eerie tale of a missing hiker. The local townsfolk had grimly warned them of the cursed woods, where whispers of vanished souls clung to every branch. Twisted trails and overgrown vegetation set the stage, creating an impenetrable canopy that obscured daylight and stretched shadows toward the depths of the earth. Every rustle in the leaves felt like something lurking, patiently waiting for nightfall. The air was dense with anticipation and an almost tangible sense of foreboding. As the team set up base camp, each member fell into a hushed silence. They aimed to document every inch of the forest, hoping to uncover not just evidence of the vanished hiker, but also to capture the essence of the unsettling whispers that haunted the woods with their eerie melody. Cameras were placed strategically, and sensors were activated to capture any paranormal activity. Dusk fell quickly. They gathered around a small campfire, warmth trying in vain to pierce the cold that seeped into their bones. The forest soundtrack grew sinister, with howls of distant wolves echoing in the hollow hills. As they shared tales of previous investigations, a growing apprehension seemed to coil around their group, binding them in a shared, unspoken dread. The moon cast an ethereal glow over the forest, turning every leaf into silver lace. Intrigued by whispers heard from the dark depths of the woods, two members of the team, Eli and Marissa, decide to venture further into the unknown. Emboldened by their curiosity, yet shackled by trepidation, their headlamps flickered as they moved, casting sporadic shafts of light that seemed to be swallowed whole by the omnipresent darkness. They traversed the rugged terrain, following a narrow game trail that wound its way deeper into the heart of the cursed area. As they ventured, their footsteps were overlaid with the ghostly echoes of the vanished backpacker, a chilling thought that burrowed into their minds. Each shadow seemed to flicker, blink, and morph into human-like figures for brief moments before melting back into darkness. A rustling noise, distinct and deliberate, snapped them to attention. Directly ahead stood the ancient tree, a gnarled sentinel from another era. Eli's pulse quickened as he noted the figures, insubstantial and shadowy, seeming to peer out at them from behind the trunk. A sudden flash, and Marissa's camera captured the scene, solidifying the fleeting specters that haunted their journey. Returning to camp, Eli and Marissa attempted to articulate what they had captured, their words coming fast and disjointed like the racing of their hearts. The group leaned in, eyes widening as Marissa snapped open her camera to display the photo. A shadowy figure, clear as night, peering from behind the ancient tree. The forest seemed to know they'd uncovered one of its mysteries. An oppressive silence settled around them, poised and all-consuming. Eli analyzed the image over and over, increasingly haunted by the dark figure's form. That was no trick of light or shadow. It was as solid as the earth beneath their feet. Dawning comprehension mixed with fear in his gaze, as the reality of possible danger loomed ominously. With adrenaline pumping faster than caution, they decided on an immediate plan of exploration for the morning. Despite rising fear, they solemnly agreed their task was far from complete. As they dispersed to their tents, the significance of the shadow began its gnawing creep into their dreams. The night dragged on, weighted down with an ominous expectation that promised neither comfort nor rest. As morning's light reluctantly trickled through the dense forest canopy, the investigators emerged from their tents, enshrouded in a cloak of dread, yet determined to confront the unexplainable. Voices were hushed, reverence almost palpable amid the ancient trees. Pottering equipment, bags strapped snugly on his back, Eli led the group deeper into the forest, following their only clue, the photograph of the shadowy sentinel. The deeper they ventured, the more oppressive the atmosphere became. With each step, the forest seemed to constrict around them, hungry roots reaching up to trip and tangle. The trees, once silent spectators, seemed to echo with the whispers of the lost, weaving in and out of the reality that now closed around the team. An archaic power presided over the landscape, indifferent yet aware. Suddenly, Marissa halted, the chill of 1,000 eyes crawling over her skin. "We're close," she whispered, knowing not from sight, but from a deep, visceral unease. They stood at the lip of a small ravine where the gnarled roots of the ancient tree twisted like the veins of the earth, pulsating with a dark energy that resonated through their bones. Emboldened yet unnerved, the team began their descent into the ravine. Shadows swirled at their peripheries, teasing the edges of their vision. Heart rates spiked as cold winds whispered secrets in an ancient tongue, encompassing the murmurs of those who had never returned. The investigators, now knee-deep in the forest's embrace, treaded with a caution born of fear and respect. As they navigated the treacherous descent, Eli discovered that every sound was magnified, creating an unnerving symphony of nature's pulse, coupled with spectral echoes. Branches above creaked ominously, swaying offbeat with their breaths. Each member of the team felt the hidden eyes of the forest upon them, watching, waiting. Reaching the bottom, they stood before the great ancient tree, far more imposing up close. Marissa shivered as she reached out to touch the bark, cold and pulsating with an energy that thrummed beneath her fingers. The photograph flashed through her mind. The shadowy figure seemed to have leapt into the real, the line between seen and unseen, disappearing amongst the gnarled limbs of the forest. A deep, unsettling hum thrummed through the group, orchestrated by the inherent power of the ancient tree. With each touch, they were drawn deeper into a trance, feeling the world's border stretch, and then snap back with tyrannical authority. Eli felt compelled to document not only with his camera, but with voice, murmuring into his recorder the peculiarities unraveling before them. The shadows undulated, fluctuation between visible and just out of sight, eyes strained, yearning to see beyond the tangible, a realm hinted at with every vibration in the air. The investigators stood entranced by the realm, where the laws of nature faded into folklore and myth. The scene held them captive, balancing on the knife edge between reality and fantasy. Marissa's camera shutter clicked, and with each flash, ghosts of moments before appeared and dissipated. Then, within those frozen captures, flickers of phantom expressions threaded through the pictures. A man's face, perhaps, trapped in time's tear. They could no longer distinguish if the eldritch figments seen were created by light or by something other, something awaiting recognition.